Well, this is a relatively new addition to my collection. This is an artisan cutlery knife. This is the Biome, a knife that came out a little while back to basically close to no fanfare, and then was overshadowed a little while later when the Real Steel Luna really took off and got popular. Which is interesting, but there you go. This one, I was able to snag off of Amazon for just under $20. Most of them go for 30, but this particular, blue, but they call it blue. I call it gray, or slate or whatnot. But yeah, it was just under $20, and I figured, well, that sounds just lovely. Now you can see it's got a nail neck on there. Not exactly my favorite, but you do have plenty of area there and whatnot, so you don't actually need to use it as a nail neck like you would on a Swiss Army knife or something like that. Just adds you or gives you a little pull location there. No pocket clip on this guy, which is very, very standard for slip joint. And you can see right back here, basically, we have a little lanyard loop sort of thing, so we don't have a hole going through the blade, or the handle, which I certainly like quite a bit. So yeah, here we go. There's the blade out there. You can see it's got a light stonewash finish to it, which I absolutely love that. So that's fantastic for me. You got the logo right there on the front, and you can see the vertical grain, or if I hold it this way, it's vertical for the G10 there. It looks quite nice. We got a little bit of a finger groove there for the first one, or your index finger there. So fits pretty darn well, and even with this little flat spot on the end, even my larger hands have basically close enough to a 4-finger grip on there. Maybe 3.75, but very, very confident and secure. It doesn't have an absolutely massively strong spring to it, but that's perfectly fine. Flipping it over, we can see by the little insignia right here that this is a Dylan Mallory design. We got the serial number for it. This is 1840p. And then Swedish Sandvik, which both of those are uncapitalized, which I don't really understand. And something that still kind of confuses me to this day with Artisan Cutlery is referring to blade steel as 12C27N. To my knowledge, unless it's specifically designed for Artisan and no one else, that steel just straight up doesn't exist. It's kind of probably a mix-up between 14C28N and 12C27. The N, I believe, is for nitrogen or something like that, and it's part of their metallurgical process there. But it's not supposed to be included in 12C27. So unless they're doing some sort of other 12C27 mod steel like Opinel uses, then I don't think that's actually valid, and they've just continued to have those typos on all of their stuff. But oh well. And yeah, it's made in China, as you would certainly assume, as almost scratch that. Absolutely everything from Artisan Cutlery is made in China. They're one of those kind of higher end companies coming out of China, like Civivi and Kaiser and all that sort of stuff. They're kind of lower brand, CJRB. You've probably seen me take a look at a few of those on the channel, like the Rhea and the Kicker and a couple of those others. Most of those were in D2 or AR RPM 9, which is actually a proprietary steel for these guys. Works about right around on par as D2, but obviously a lot more corrosion resistant. From their metallurgical standpoint, it kind of looks like almost like a powder metallurgy steel of 9CR18 MOV but obviously works a little bit better than that. So, hey, that's cool. So, yeah, I don't really necessarily want to attempt to take this apart. For one, I do know that we have a circular pivot in there that I can't really get out unless I really go to some crazy means. And something that does a little bit bother me is you can see these two screw sides, and it copies a bit on the other side. They're a little bit lopsided. They're not exactly uniform, and I know that's, I guess, just done by design. But it's something that I would kind of hope there'd be a little bit more symmetry going on there. But yeah, the other thing that I really wanted to mention about this guy, and if you're not a slip joint person, then that's perfectly fine. Well, for one, there is quite a big gap on that side. You can probably see it a little bit better from the inside. Yeah, you can see it's got a gap. It's perfectly fine. Doesn't really affect the action or anything like that. But it's not exactly a crazy precision design thing, and you probably wouldn't expect it for $20 to $30. So this thing does have a half stop, but it's a pretty lazy half stop. Here, I can kind of show you that. There you go. There, it's at the middle, and it definitely has a feeling of it being in the middle. And we can. Where is my little flashlight? Here we are. You can kind of take a look down in there. It's probably not all that great. Essentially, it has rounded sides around that half stop, which kind of makes it fairly lazy in it. It does have it, so you don't have to worry at all about the blade just slamming closed on you or anything like that. But if you are really looking for the walk and the walk and talk, doesn't have it. It's got the talk. That's perfectly fine. But it works out quite well. It's it's basically right around 2.7 inches or so. Yeah, obviously because a little bit there. So yeah, it's pretty average to a little bit larger than a lot of slip joints are. And that's perfectly fine for me. It's still very, very slim and compact. Fits down in my pocket certainly perfectly fine. It's not going to be a watch pocket kind of small. You want something much smaller than that. But yeah. So the reason I kind of took a look at this guy here is because I have a lot of slip joints. And I wasn't necessarily thinking that a whole lot of people would be super interested in them, but I am thinking about trying to do separate videos on them, not taking over for any other videos that I would do during the week. So I'm still going to be taking a look at the kitchen knives and the Tucson Tuesdays and the other stuff there. But I do have an enormous amount of slip joints that I do want to take a look at. Some of them are fantastic. Some of them not so much. But I do have probably like 30 or so. And I wanted to kind of take a look at them a little bit. So I might kind of do some of those videos over the weekend or something like that. Just when I have some extra time or whatnot. They are knives that I still kind of want to take a look at and do a little bit of reviews for, but certainly understand that they are not for everybody. Much more popular are modern folders, and I get that, and most of my collection is them as well. But there's something a little nice and classy, I guess, about just simple little slip joints and whatnot. So yeah, I guess in the near future I'll be taking a look at a few more of these guys. As with a lot of my other collection, most of them are going to be two sons, but not all of them. I got some Kershaws and some Cold Steel and some other stuff kind of floating around in there. But yeah, I'll start taking a look at those as time permits. Alrighty, well that was fun. This is the Artisan Cutlery Biome, and I do have to say, for $20, that's a pretty damn good knife. For 30, yeah, I'd be, I can probably get a lot better slip joint kind of out there. But for 20, fantastic. So, all right, that's the Artisan Cutlery Biome by Dylan Mallory. So, all right, as always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo.